Welcome, everyone, to another episode of the Chuck Graham Show. Well, I don't have a whole lot of time this morning, but I wanted to address some things that I saw on the news about the shooting in Buffalo. For one, crazy guy, right? Crazy guy. And I heard the governor of, I believe it was New York, start talking about how we need to hold these platforms accountable and the hate speech. Hate speech is not free speech. Well, that's not true. Everything you saw on CNN when it comes to hate speech is a lie. I'm sorry, it's a lie. And the reason it's a lie is very simple. Matal v. Tam, 2017. Now keep in mind, these are the same justices that implemented and said that it was a constitutional right to gay marriage. Matal v. Tam, the justices unanimously reaffirmed that there is effectively no hate speech exception to free speech rights protected by the First Amendment. In other words, hate speech is free speech. So these liberal-ass governors, which fail to protect their community, can blow it out their ass. Because the bottom line is hate speech is free speech, whether you like it or not. And before you start attacking the justices that affirmed this back in 2017, it was unanimous. I think it was Cohen versus California where the man walked into a California courthouse with a T-shirt on and said, "Fuck the draft" on it. Went all the way to the Supreme Court. And their ruling was one man's vulgarity is another man's lyrics. Folks, you cannot have a free society without free speech. You can't. You can't, in this great constitutional republic that we have here today, have a free society. And that's what I said, a constitutional republic. We are not a democracy. They have twisted the term democracy until it is breaking off. I don't even like the term democracy. We are not a democracy. We are a constitutional republic. Now, the meaning of democracy has been skewed to include a constitutional republic. But the fact is this, folks. If you can't fix crazy. This guy was clearly nuts, clearly had mental instabilities. They knew he was out of it. And what'd they do? Well, he spent a time in a mental hospital. He threatened to shoot up a school. They did nothing. So is it the social media's fault? Because law enforcement and the FBI, and let's just pretend that organization is actually free of corruption. The fact of the matter is this. They did nothing. Law enforcement knew it was happening, or didn't know this was happening, but they knew he was not stable. But, in their defense, it's hard to balance a free society and people's freedoms with the public safety. So the bottom line is, people, you have to understand that the state should have, when he spent that time in a mental hospital or he threatened to shoot up the school, they should have drug him into court and tried to have him committed the right way. Maybe they did, maybe they didn't. Obviously, it didn't stick. The guy was a nutcase. He went in and he shot 10 people, or shot 12, I think, and killed 10. So, as tragic as it is, and this guy should never see the light of day again, but hate speech, blaming it on hate speech because he has a mental disorder, that's like blaming Ford for, I don't know, one of your spouse dying in a car accident. You can't blame Ford for that. You blame the person who is responsible for it. You don't blame social media. You don't blame speech or the First Amendment. You don't silence people. You don't take away people's rights to deter crime. I remember reading an attorney general's opinion here in Mississippi where I think it was the city of Ridgeland or one of them idiots over there from where I'm at actually tried to implement a curfew because they said it would deter crime. You can't violate someone's constitutional rights of freedom of movement because and that's what they said. You can't do that. You need to stop that right now. Same thing with building inspectors and code enforcement and all that kind of stuff. You can't violate people's constitutional rights. And that's what that would do if you try to ban hate speech. There's people that are hateful out there. That's just the way it is. But not every person that hates or talks shit online is going to shoot up a place. And I'm sorry, but that's just the way it is. Don't blame me. Blame your liberal justices. This was a unanimous decision. I don't know if Ruth Bader Ginsburg was the one that was absent in that because it was only an 8-0 opinion on it. Not sure which one was absent, but somebody was absent. Anyway, that'll do it for me. But all I can say is freedom ain't free. People die. And all I can say is if someone would have been in that grocery store armed, like the Texas church shooting where the guy only got to shoot 2 before one of the congregation members took his ass out. You don't need less guns, you need more. And that's my 2 cents. So you either like it or you don't. If you do, subscribe to the channel. If you don't, subscribe to the channel. You might be able to troll me or whatever. And that's going to do it for me. Guys, have a good morning.